What up, people? It's your boy Master Chudy out here with a very late night review of Stargirl episode 9, and I'm late, very late. So I won't get into the meat of the episode. Long story short, TLDR. Um, Henry Jr. here. Henry Jr. discovers his father's secret, learns of his father's secret, learns the powers of it. It starts, well, he hasn't mastered his powers yet, but he does watch a lot of his father's tapes to get an idea of what his powers are, basically. And the flip side as well, we see that Courtney is trying to bring Henry into the fold, trying to say, "Hey, look, join the good side, join the good team, join us." Henry's having some second thoughts, thinks that the world is out to get him, thinks that the world is just bad, and whatnot. We then, of course, knows what happened to Cindy. She gets punished. She gets her records from the school expunged, claiming that she's studying abroad, and that she's studying abroad. Yeah, she's studying abroad. Basically, the house is cleared. Nobody's there. She's of no use anymore. Okay, so let's get back into that. Courtney tries to tell the team, "Hey, I trusted y'all. Let's trust Henry," and they're like, well, half of them. They're split 50-50. Beth is with Courtney. Rick and Yolanda are not. So, the next thing is that um not Beth, Courtney's mom basically meets with Icicle, apologizes for leaving. Icicle Senior keeping up his facade, saying, "Hey, it's cool. You have to see your family," and she invites him to dinner. And so we get this excellent dinner scene that can be reminiscent of the Spider-Man Thanksgiving dinner scene that happened, even though one party is not suspicious of the other, it's just Courtney who's suspicious of Icicle, and by proxy, Icicle Jr., Cameron. But it's very good and it's very awkward in a way. Oh, sorry about that. So there's that as well. Then we see that Yolanda also basically visited Henry, you know, telling her to basically go ahead and stay away from Courtney and her family, that you're only going to hurt them, and you think your soul is worth saving and whatnot. And that's pretty much that. The episode ends in an odd way, in two odd ways. One, after uh, the Moynahans leave, or Cameron and his father leave, Stargirl wants to take out her staff and go trace them. And of course, her mother with Pat, who was with Courtney, they see the staff in action, so they're gonna have to find a way to talk that through. And then, of course, a lawyer that was for Henry's father, um, for Brainwave, pretty much says, "Hey, your father had me come here in case anything were to happen to him, and that his life support were to go off." And Henry is like, "Oh, you're lying," and then he kind of freaks out, and then I believe he killed the man, and then his father wakes up. And then that's the end of that episode. So we'll get into the pros, the neutrals, and the cons as I usually do with these episodes. Pros. First and foremost, really liked Henry's experiment. Well, not experimentation, but kind of growth in it. I like how he goes that he's a very complex character, that he's very layered, that he's like, hey, I I'm I can't control these thoughts. It's stressful. I'm hearing people's terrible thoughts. I don't think people are good. At the same time, he does his own research and goes about, watching tapes, trying to figure out what his father was doing. That's I'm gonna also mix that in that I did like, his father's backstory as well, going into that he had experimented on himself and did everything like that as well. Uh, let's see. Yeah, so yeah, Henry, fantastic pro. Another pro I had was definitely Icicle Senior. Like, you definitely know, like, he is not about that joke in life. Like, you see him, his first appearance in this episode, he's got a picture of all the people he's executed that had a hand in the death of his wife, you know. In addition, the facade he plays, which, and in some cases, you really can't really call it a facade because he really believes it. I mean, the way that he hides his ruthlessness is very well played. The actor for Icicle Senior is a very, very good, very good. Like that's a huge pro. Really like that as well. Another pro is Courtney. I'll give it to her that. She really comes off as, she's a good person, and she's a generally good person. And you like her to come in and kind of invite people in because she trusts them, and she sees the good in people. Um, I will address another part of her character that was kind of a con in this episode, but at the same time, I also like how she goes about and kind of freaks out about Icicle because she obviously knows it's him. But as we've seen in these countless episodes, Courtney's brashness tends to get her in trouble, which is why Pat is like, we ain't doing anything until we get more information and whatnot. So I get into that. Another pro that I really also enjoyed would be Beth and Rick. It was short, but they're doing their research, and they discovered um, that who made the tunnels under Blue Valley and whatnot, and everything like that. So that's that. Uh, let's get into the neutrals. Uh, Yolanda. Now, I was thinking about going to put her into a negative, but at the same time, I was like, I get it. But Yolanda, yeah, she was been wronged by Rick and that situation and all, where he was showing, her pictures and everything like that. It was obvious that it was Cindy who really shared it, you know, and it's clear that she loved him and that he seems to be sorry. But at the same time, like, damn, you rush in, suits blazing, you just drag him out of the hospital hallway in your Black Panther suit, and you like threaten him. Like, that doesn't help. Like, I'm really hoping they resolve this issue about whether he shared those photos or not, because it's kind of shown that he didn't. But at the same time, this one is like he didn't really say anything. I mean, to be fair, he was kind of dragged out, so I get it. But something needs to happen in that regard. So yeah, that's my neutral. Oh, let me go back to one last pro. Forgive me. Dr. Ito, really like him. He's definitely another great villain in this series. We find out that Cindy did, in fact, kill her mother. Well, at least did, in fact, kill her purposely, I think. And you could just feel the intensity when he like heard that and locked her up. But then again, I I couldn't help but feel a little bit bad for Cindy because she was like getting gassed, and he's like saying, "Oh, that always calms her down," which means that he was doing this on a somewhat consistent basis before. But that's neither here nor there. Um. So yeah, I gave on all my pros and my neutrals. So my cons. The only con that I have, or two cons basically. One, it's becoming to a point where you know everybody will know Courtney's identity. And it's kind of like I wish we could have played it out a bit, you know. I wish we could have played it out a bit where she's on her own, nobody knows, she's got this secret identity, and she slowly brings people to the fold. But, people are calling her out on it. Oh, I want to invite you. I want everybody to know my secret. And Pat must be so exasperated to have that. Second of all, second con was basically Courtney's brashness. She's just ready to well, what am I going to mess up now? And how am I actually going to mess up things? It's great for character development, don't get me wrong, but it's like, ooh, Courtney, don't do that. They're minor nitpicks, but that's neither here nor there. So at the end of this, I give this episode I give it an 8.5 out of 10. This is definitely the most well acted episode of the series so far. So thank you all for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, comment below, hit the notifications to make sure you're notified. Once again, I do these reviews of Stargirl for you, the people, so I can discuss this show and get your views on them. Thank you all for watching, and I will have more videos up tomorrow. Peace.